Hello and welcome back to Ebenezer Cottage Garden. A few little jobs to do today. First of all, I'm going to head down to local garden centre, have a look around there. I've got to pick up a present for my sister, and then I'm going to get the last of some daffodil bulbs planted. It's a little bit late because they are even starting to come up now, but they need to go in the ground. I did buy them, so I want to use them. And then I've also got some pepper seeds to plant and a few other bits and pieces. So yeah, let's start off heading down to the garden centre.
I came here looking for a fig tree for my sister's birthday, having a look through all the varieties, but I can't see brown turkey, which is the one I'm after, so I guess it's back to the drawing board for now. I wouldn't say I necessarily need any more seeds, but whilst I'm here I might as well pick up a couple of packets. Long red Marconi. They sound pretty good, and I can sow these alongside my onions. So I've got quite a few different mixed packets here of daffodils. There's about 10 per packet, all different varieties. I'm going to pop some in front of the shed here because I think they look nice popping up out of the ground. As you can see, I need to do a bit of weeding and to wood chip this area, and I guess today probably isn't the best day to be doing it because it's a little bit icy, but I've got spare time now, so I'm just going to get on with it. So once I've got some done from the front here, I'm then going to move on, and there's a sort of pathway down the side of one of my raised beds, and I'll pop a few in there as well. That was quite successful really. This little thing's made it a bit easier. Bulb planter. This is running out of battery now, so it's not really digging as well as it should, but it sped things up no end. I think the plan now is for me to just dot the remaining bulbs along the side of here, so I have some daffodils come up. But if I want to come down with a wheelbarrow a bit later on to top this up with compost, or when I'm weeding and getting this all sorted soon, I'll still have space to move along. So I'm just going to crack on, line them all up first, and then do the holes and drop them in. After I planted my bulbs, there was still quite a lot of light in the air, so I thought we'd go out for a walk around a local country park. It's great to come out and see these places if you're a gardener, because you can see what's in bud, and you can even see things like the leaves that have naturally dropped off the tree and are acting like the leaf mulch that you try to replicate in the garden. There are a few strange things about. This guy, for one, he had a strange look on his face, and I'm not too sure what him and his friend were up to.
I'm by no means an expert on pruning apple trees, but I've been having a go on neatening up this branch, a few branches that come over into our garden. And I think for today, I'm just going to take out any of the spurs that are pointing inwards, and then just see if we get some better fruit off it this year. I'm not sure whether I need to bring these down at all. I need to do a bit more reading on that. But for now, I'm just going to take out the inner bits to make sure that when the leaves do come out on the tree, that you get a bit more airflow. It's probably quite tricky to see on camera, but it's also important to get any branches that are rubbing like this, because it can cause a lesion on the branch, and then once you've got an open wound like that, diseases can get in through the summer months. Anything like this, the uprights as well, you want to try and get out. And the idea is, again, like I say, I'm not an expert, but is to try and make an open goblet effect of the tree. It's going to be a bit tricky because the other side needs a bit of a prune, but at least I can look after this bit here and hopefully get some nice fruit off it. You can see my collection of seeds here. There's quite a lot crammed into this box, but it's just an old wine box, a wooden wine box that I got from work. And then I've divided up each section into things like, tomatoes, legumes, root veg, different things, just with bits of cardboard. So it's quite a nice way to separate things up, and it's got a lid that goes on top as well. So I'm at a point now where I probably need to go through all of these and check the dates on them, because I should think by now some of these are either past their expiry date or getting close. So I'll have a little look through them. And you don't always have to pay 100% attention to those things. For example, tomato seeds, I've got some really old ones that just keep coming back. So, it's down to your own discretion. But it turns out I don't have a capsicum section in here, or I don't know, I've lost the divider and they're in there somewhere. But I've got some of my peppers that I'm going to sow today. With it being January, I don't want to get ahead of myself and start planting tomatoes, sowing all those sorts of bits and pieces, but peppers and onions I'm quite happy to do. I've got some onions on the go upstairs actually. So just to show you the seeds that I've got here, I've got some classic cayenne peppers. Always good, you can blitz those up and make a chili powder. It's one of those ones that you always see on recipes. I've got some sweet peppers called long red Marconi, which look good. They're a sweet pepper that are quite long, not like the pointed ones. They've got sort of flatter bottom, but apparently they've got a great taste and also grill very well. So that's going to be an interesting one to try. Then I've got 2 lots of padron pepper, one from Frankie and one from Unwin's. Always eating these, always buying them from the supermarket. Cook them up until they're slightly burnt, just a little bit in a pan, and then sprinkle on some coarse salt, and they're a lovely little snack. And these ones came from Italy, called peperone tondo picante calabrese, and they are looking like they're going to be little round spicy peppers, so they're all going to be good to try. So I'm going to get these going, and we'll pop them into these little seed trays. I like using these seed trays because relative to their own size, you can actually start off quite a few little plants in here. So what I like to do is start them off in here. Once they're a size that they can be pricked out, move them on into module trays or into small pots. So we're going to make a start on these, and we'll start off with these peperone tondo picante calabrese here, which came in from Italy. Peppers are one of those ones that I've had kind of mixed results sowing from seed, because they need a good amount of heat. You've always got to make sure that you've got a heat mat underneath or a heated propagator. I think what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to take these peppers, put them in the heated propagator I've got upstairs where my onions are, because the onions are just struggling a little bit on the south facing windowsill and that heated propagator. And then I'm going to put the onions in this propagator with a heat mat underneath. I think it won't get quite as hot in there. And then the peppers, which do need lots of heat, I'm going to put in the heated propagator that the onions are currently in. Hopefully that will make sense. So I'm just going to sow these sort of a couple of centimetres apart. As I say, they're not going to live in these trays. They're just going to start off here and then move on into module trays. And I don't need loads and loads of these. Just enough, because what I tend to do
is I will, pick them, use them as I want to through the summer, but also I'll put them in a bag in the freezer as well. So I'm just going to write the name of this one. Pop that in there so I know where they are. And one little thing I will say is when you are sowing seeds in these module trays, especially if you're doing different varieties in the same tray, just make sure you're leaving a good little gap between the rows so you know that they're definitely the ones that you're pricking out are the correct variety. So we will now have a go at doing some Pruning. So I'll do one row of the Frankie ones and then I'll do one row of the unwins ones. Ready, and we'll see if one comes back better than the other. I mean, from experience, Frankie are fantastic providers of seeds, and you get so many in the packet as well, and you get some interesting varieties too. Let's see how we get on with these. But these are the unwins. There's not many in this packet actually. Hardly any at all. Right, I don't think they're an F1. No. Alright, well let's just sow all of them then. These are one of those peppers that I can definitely pass on to other people if I've got lots of spares, because everybody loves them. Here we go. My Pruning, Frankie. Now, sorry, the unwins. Now we'll move on to the Frankie. We'll try and open this one carefully because they often don't have another packet inside with the seeds. They're just loose in the big bag. Oh, no, prune them wrong. So I'd be interested. Oh, you got loads in there. I'd be interested to know if you're growing chilies, what varieties you enjoy, especially with the sweet chilies. If you've had some success with those, which varieties tend to do well. I tried a couple of grafted plants last year in the greenhouse, but like I said, I think planting them in the ground alongside the tomatoes is just too much competition in there. Well, just visually, the Frankie seeds are bigger than the unwin ones. And then I've only got one more variety to sow. I've got a whole other tray here. Okay. As you can see, I've got the 3 different varieties there. Well, there's 2 different varieties, but 3 separate versions of seed. And just make sure you've got it topped off well. And one thing I've definitely learned over the past few years is to make sure that there's good contact between the seed and the compost. So you can either push it down with your hands, or if you've got another tray, go on top like that. But it really does improve the germination rate if there's good contact between the seed and the compost. So I know some people I've seen on YouTube, different places, their peppers have sprung up after about a week, so I'll be coming back and checking these. But hopefully I'll have a bit more success this year with peppers, and that's about it. Thanks for tuning in again. Slightly different format this time. We've included a few different bits of me out and about, so I hope you enjoyed that too. But yeah, look forward to seeing you next time. Happy gardening.